Lena didn't sleep that night. The scroll sat on the table in her tent, pulsing faintly with a dim blue light, as if alive. Her team had gone to bed after a long day of excavation, brushing off her story as sunstroke or exhaustion. But Lena knew the truth. What she had seen beneath the sands wasn't a hallucination. The Guardian, the map, the chamber, they were real. And now the fate of something far greater than Egypt was in her hands. By dawn, she was already on the road to Karnak. She drove alone, the desert stretching endlessly on either side. Thoughts raced through her mind, memories of her studies, her lectures, her years in academia. Everything she'd believed about ancient Egypt was being shattered. The temples were never just for gods or kings. They were keys, activated by sound, aligned with celestial movements, and built upon the Earth's most powerful energy lines. As Karnak's towering pylons came into view, Lena's heart pounded. It had always felt different from the other temples, massive, complex, layered with additions from pharaoh after pharaoh. But now she understood. Each layer was a patch, a cover-up, a distraction. She slipped through the gates with her credentials and made her way into the inner sanctums, past curious guards and scholars. No one paid her much attention. She was a well-known expert, and they assumed she was doing more research. But Lena wasn't interested in the documented areas. She headed deep into the restricted sections, toward a sealed doorway few dared to explore. It was located beneath the hall of the sacred bark, hidden behind a sandstone slab that bore no hieroglyphs, just a faint, circular indentation the size of her palm. She took a breath and placed the scroll against it. With a whispering sound, the stone shimmered and vanished into the floor, revealing a spiral staircase descending into pitch blackness. A rush of cold air hit her face. She flicked on her flashlight and stepped down, sealing the passage behind her. The air was thick with silence. At the bottom, she found herself in another chamber, this one far more advanced than the one in the desert. The walls were lined with copper and quartz, and massive discs of stone hung suspended in the air, humming with unseen energy. It looked like a reactor. At the center was a sphere, floating above a metallic pedestal, spinning slowly and casting eerie reflections. Lena approached it cautiously. As she neared, the sphere reacted. Images burst forth in the air around her, holographic visions of ancient times. She saw the original builders, tall, graceful beings cloaked in light, their faces hidden by masks shaped like animals. The jackal, the ibis, the lioness, the falcon. They communicated through frequency and thought, building temples not for worship, but for resonance, tuning the earth like an instrument to keep the cosmic balance. Then she saw something else. A rupture, an experiment gone wrong. A beam of energy shot skyward, piercing the clouds and causing a massive quake. One of the original temples, located at the convergence of all energy lines, collapsed into the sea. The survivors buried their knowledge beneath stone and sand, swearing never to use the mechanism again. But humanity, curious and blind, rediscovered fragments. Pharaohs tried to replicate the technology, turning the sacred architecture into symbols of divine power. Over centuries, the original purpose was lost, harmony weakened. And now, with the alignment of the stars drawing near again, the machine must either be restarted or shut down forever. Lena turned to the pedestal. Embedded in it were 4 glyphs, each pulsing slowly. Beneath them, an inscription. Only the bearer of the key of breath may activate the final sequence. She looked down at the scroll. Was this the key? She placed it into the groove beneath the glyphs. The chamber began to vibrate. Lights pulsed along the walls. The floating discs rotated faster, forming patterns in the air. A voice echoed from everywhere and nowhere. Sequence initiated, system integrity compromised, Guardian override required. Then everything stopped. The floor cracked open. A pillar rose, just like in the desert. But this time, it opened to reveal a sarcophagus of black stone, covered in ancient writing that no Egyptologist had ever seen. A hum rose in the air, rising higher in pitch, until Lena had to cover her ears. The sarcophagus cracked. Inside wasn't a mummy. It was a being, perfectly preserved, humanoid but otherworldly, with silver skin and glowing eyes. It slowly sat up, its gaze locking onto Lena. She couldn't move. Every cell in her body screamed in fear and awe. For The being spoke, its voice deep and resonant. The awakening has begun. Are you the new keeper? Lena struggled to speak. I don't know, I just found the scroll. Then fate has chosen. It stepped out and the temple responded. The walls glowed, revealing hidden maps, star charts, energy nodes, and something more, a countdown. 6 days. That was all that remained before the next celestial alignment. The being placed a hand on Lena's shoulder, and her mind was flooded with data, equations, frequencies, coordinates, lost temples, buried machines, all waiting to be activated or dismantled. Each one tied to a global network stretching across continents, Angkor Wat, Machu Picchu, Göbekli Tepe, and others still hidden. The Guardian turned toward the holographic map. The final temple lies beneath the Sphinx. It was hidden there before the first dynasty. If the wrong hands activate it, the balance will collapse. Lena's breath caught in her throat. The Sphinx, the one place never fully explored. Rumors of chambers beneath it had been dismissed as myth, yet here it was, confirmed. But they weren't alone anymore. Above ground, in the bustling city of Luxor, a shadowy figure monitored Lena's every move through satellite footage and intercepted communications. A man in a black suit, sitting in a dark room filled with screens, spoke into a headset. She found the chamber. Initiate Protocol Anubis. We're going to need the original blueprints before she shuts it down. Another voice replied, cold and precise. Understood, teams are moving in. Unbeknownst to Lena, powerful forces were converging. Corporations, governments, secret societies, all with their own interests and ancient power buried beneath Egypt. They didn't want to restore balance. They wanted control. And they would stop at nothing. The countdown had begun.